Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Now today I'm going to be sharing with you how you can go about pricing for your very first web design project. Now if you're new to web design, then you're already on your way to having an amazing journey. But if you have just landed your very first project, you're probably wondering how you can go about pricing for it. If it's your first one, should you price at all? Should you price low? Or should you price in line with other designers? Look, I'm going to share with you what my thoughts are on each of those questions and discuss what your options are and things that you should be considering when you are pricing for your first project coming up. Now before we dive too far into this, please remember to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification too, and you'll be notified of any future releases. And please do give it a thumbs up. It really does help the YouTube algorithm and other people finding this content. Okay, so let me share with you what my experience was for my very first web design project. This was a project I did probably 7 to 8 years ago, and at the time I was actually employed by a company as an internal designer. So I was actually kind of freelancing on the side as a little side hustle, and the idea of this was just so I could make some more money. Now the company that had faith in me and allowed me to work with them actually come by way of a referral from a friend of a friend. Now at this point I already knew how to build websites, but what I was looking for was experience with how to actually build a website on a freelance basis, get experience with talking to the client, the whole end-to-end service delivery. So this experience for me was actually really valuable. And what I did is I actually collaborated on this project with another friend who was into marketing and copywriting, and I thought at the time it would be a great experience for both of us. Now we only got £500 for this project, which is around $700 to $800, which split down the middle wasn't an awful lot. But the main takeaways from this project was I actually got paid for it. I got some real life experience, and I ended up with something in my portfolio that I could show to other businesses. So how do you go about pricing for your very first web design project? Okay, so the first question is, should you actually be charging anything at all if it is your first web design project? And if you want my opinion, I don't think anyone should ever work for free. But at this stage here, you really need to consider your experience. Are you brand new into the field of web design? Have you built any websites before? Have you come from, say, an agency or a job where you've built many websites and have built up experience with actually delivering the service? Because this is going to already put you in a much better position than those who are perhaps just getting started fresh out of the gate. So if you are brand new to web design and have never built a project for a business before, then doing something for free might not be a bad idea. And the reason why I say that is because you need to consider the value of the project here. How much experience is this project going to give you? Also, by doing the project for free, what is that going to mean for your business in the long term? Can you use this as a portfolio item to sign up more projects? Can you get a testimonial from the business owner, or maybe you get a decent referral? There's just a few things to consider when getting started. Now, if you do have experience as a web designer through an agency or employment and you're just getting started with your freelance career, then I don't recommend that you start for free here. What you are able to offer is far more valuable than delivering something for free. This now brings us on to the next question of, should you price low for your first project? Now for your first project, personally, I think this is the favorable option. And the reason for that is you still get paid and you're going to get a ton of experience. Now again here, you need to consider what this project is worth to you in terms of value. What are you going to get from it? As a web designer, you know how to build websites, but do you know how to communicate with clients? Do you know how to do the requirements meetings? Do you know how to service a client from end to end and hand that website over? This is all experience that you can still be getting from your first project, except you are being paid for it. Now, when it comes to actually pricing, what I recommend you do is just work out what your absolute baseline minimum is. If you're working with a low hourly rate and you have experience with building websites and have an idea of how long that takes, then maybe use that as a benchmark. Also consider any external resources or contractors that you need, such as themes or copywriters or designers and developers, depending on how complex this project is. Now, if this is a project that is way more complex than you are used to, then maybe this isn't the project for you and you pass up on it. Because remember, you need to make sure that you deliver a fantastic service with every single client, especially your first one. Now, once you've established what your absolute bare minimum is that you can charge for a project, price it a little bit higher, and that's going to give you a little bit of room for negotiation if the client pushes back. Okay, so this now brings us on to the third point. As web designers, should you be charging the same as other established web designers with your first project? Now, this is the ideal situation, right? You get started as a web designer and you are already charging thousands of dollars or pounds for a website. Sounds great. but it doesn't always work out like this. So we've already spoken about experience, and ultimately this is going to come down to your experience and your confidence. Okay, if you've been working within a web design agency and you've serviced hundreds of different projects, then you are going to be way more experienced than those that are just getting started. If you've had experience in a web design agency where you've served hundreds of different websites and you've dealt with clients, you've serviced them from end to end, and jumping into freelance is honestly not going to phase you, then absolutely you can charge pretty much the same as other well-established designers. But if you're not in that position, you don't have a lot of web design experience and you're signing up your first client, then pricing in line with other established designers probably isn't going to work for you. So that's my thoughts on each three of those questions. Hopefully you found that valuable and you now have a better understanding of how you can price for your very first project as a web designer. Now, if you haven't done so already, hit subscribe, hit the bell notification too, and you'll be notified of future releases. Also give it a thumbs up if you found this valuable. I will really appreciate it, and it helps other people find my content as well. Now, there's more content coming up on the end screen that you're going to find valuable, so stick around and watch that, and I will see you in the next video.